From the spills.
This is Dempsey. Decent try.
To the pills. The football world never disappoints and always seems to give us a whole barrel load full of its soccer. Hello and welcome to the show. What makes everyone laugh at their role models when they seem to do something stupid or funny, but mostly stupid. Today, all three of our soccer shockers all have one thing in common. It's your goal today to try and guess what all three have in common. The results will be at the end of the show. Anyway, let's stop wasting time talking and let's get to some shockers so we can all get laughing. Yes, it's time for number 3. Now this week, number 3 belongs to the Scottish. Now, don't worry, they haven't beaten England again, but again, that is another shock in itself. But today, we look at Rangers and Celtic, both bitter rivals as they're always battling for the top. Now, if you don't believe the bitter rivals, please take a look at this one.
Let's Juice come over to the touchline, and it's starting to kick off down there. Juve and Neil Lennon. The Celtic boss being held back. Gugera comes over to try and defuse the situation. El Juve, who's a heat figure around these parts. Well, it's not what we wanted to see. It should be all about the football, but once again there's a sideshow that Callum Murray's having to deal with. He's booked Juve for his part in this. Neil Lennon got involved too. Out he came. Alan Thompson stopping the Celtic manager getting involved. He's got an appeal against the 6-match touchline ban at Hampden tomorrow. Ali McCoist being held back by Walter Smith. Thankfully, there's plenty peacemakers down there as well. Well, that is half-time. Another intriguing battle with Rangers down to 10 men. Alaj Diouf involved as well. Very much so.
Now, of course, Rangers had many problems a couple of years after this clip, and Rangers unfortunately were relegated down to the bottom division in the Scottish leagues. However, it will be 4 years until these two teams meet again, and that's even if the managers are at the clubs. Oh well. Bring on round 2! Ding ding! Here is number 2. Now, number 2 belongs to the Italian Why Always Me, like why always me when he scores the goals, or why always me who can't get the bibs on, or why always me who gets into fights with his own manager. Yes, we all know who this is. Of course, it's Super Mario.
Later, is this the final straw for Balotelli at Manchester City?
Well, it's a very good question because we have been here a few times before, haven't we? I think most memorably for me, anyway, in April when Balotelli was sent off against Arsenal in the run-in for the Premier League title last year, and Mancini reacted furiously to that, and I think at the time suggested that really could be it. Clearly, things were patched up. Balotelli had a great summer for Italy at the European Championships, but here we are again, halfway through this new season. Another training ground bust up. This time it followed a bad tackle he apparently made on teammate Scott Sinclair that Mancini didn't like at all. I think the pictures speak for themselves. Apparently not quite as bad as it looks, we're led to believe, but it does look pretty bad, doesn't it? So, yes, we've been here before and here we are again. And also, he's not playing very well. You know? He hasn't played in the last 5 Premier League games. He scored 1 goal this season. So, he's not having a great season.
Why do City continue to tolerate this behaviour?
Because on his day he's very, very good. Now the problem is how often those days come around. I mentioned the fact that he played very well for Italy this summer at the European Championships. He was fantastic, particularly against Germany, that wonderful game. He absolutely led the line and was superb.
Now the fight had been brewing for many months, and Mario did the pretty much best thing you can do when you have a fight with your manager: get transferred to another club. Good on you, Mario. Good on you. Germany, home to some of the greatest footballers in the world. So they think. And now, as we see, home to the World Cup champions. Well done, Germany. But manager Yorick Low, also described as the best looking manager out of the whole world, has actually got some disgusting habits. Right, Joachim? You will be covering your eyes, Joachim.
Germany's manager, Yorick Low, has it all. Good looks, a great team, a lovely blue jumper, and a full head of glossy, lustrous hair.
He looks a bit like a Beatle throughout this tournament with his dress sense and his hair.
He come across as quite a cool kind of guy, you know, leaning up against the dugout with his little cardigan on. You know, I like cardigan.
I mean, he doesn't look like a national football manager, does he? They were like a guy that got divorced and was then trying to get back out on the scene again and try and pick up a young lady.
He was a German style icon, or he would have been if he hadn't forgotten one thing: cameras, lots of them.
The camera had zoomed in on him, and it was so unfortunate that at this point he gets his finger and decides to have a bit of a pick of the nose. Not just a little bit, a massive rummage.
And it got worse.
Surely not. He can't put that in his mouth. And he starts off rolling it in the fingers, a bit of a bogey roll. It's like, oh my God, camera's still on him. Then the bogey goes in his mouth. We're all like this, like going, no, take it out. What are you doing? The camera's still on you. And then he starts chewing it, looking like he's enjoying it. Really sort of making a meal out of it. Absolutely disgusting.
Yes, he is my role model, alright. Now, have you ever noticed that Yorick Low and his assistant always look the same? If you really don't believe me, please take a look at these two images. So yes, you pretty get the idea of the backstage of Germany manager Yorick Low. Anyway, that is all we have time for. Now, going back right to the beginning, I said all three of these have one thing in common. Well, after the first two, you probably thought it was fights, but actually this week belonged to the managers. That's right, I'm Oliver Eaton. Thank you for watching. See ya.